Welcome back to the Real Estate Girls podcast. We're your hosts, Heather and Kaci. Whether you're buying, selling, or just obsessed with the market, we're here to bring you expert advice, behind the scenes stories, and a dose of realness.
All right, let's talk about the 2026 real estate market. While interest rates are not at historic all-time lows, they have eased from their recent peaks, which has already started to impact buyer confidence and activity. Many buyers who sat on the sidelines in 2024 and early 2025 are slowly re-entering the market.
What economists are generally predicting for 2026: rates are expected to trend gradually lower, not drop overnight. Affordability improves more through price adjustments, negotiating power, more than dramatic rate cuts. And Florida is expected to remain one of the strongest long-term markets due to our population growth, job migration, and lifestyle demand.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's exploding.
Yeah.
I read the other day, we've had, since 2020, we've had an 8 to 9% increase in population growth. That's like approximately 1.9 million people come in.
Yeah.
And they are predicting that we're going to have, by 2030, another 1.4 million.
People are trying to get away from that cold weather.
Absolutely. And, we have no state income tax. We have
Yep.
beautiful weather. That's why, when I went to California, when I visited California, I didn't get it till I visited. And I'm like, okay, this weather is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, there's people in California that don't even have HVACs,
Yeah.
ACs, because the weather is just awesome. And I think our weather, we have really good weather. We have great employment opportunities here, job growth, no state income tax. And it's quite appealing. We're seeing a lot of migration from people that are from foreign countries come to Florida, but we
Yeah.
also see from other states,
Yeah.
like states like New York, California. You have Tennessee, New Jersey. Even our neighbors in Georgia and Alabama,
Yeah.
you have, we just have a lot of opportunity here. And I think that's great for real estate overall.
For sure.
The buyer rewards well-priced, well-prepared homes, not test the market pricing. So I've had $1 for every seller that says, well, let's just test the market here.
Yeah.
We do our comparative market analysis. Now I try to price based on what the median and average home, what it says the price is for those comparable properties. I am not ever recommending high end of the CMA,
Yeah.
the comparative market analysis. It's either middle to low. This is where we need to be. And like you mentioned on the last episode, that might need to be adjusted based on what will be listed the next week or what the market is telling us. The price of your house is only worth what a willing and able buyer is willing to pay for it. So 3 months ago, maybe it was worth this, but now we're in a different market.
Yeah,
So
that's right. So the big takeaway for 2026, this isn't a frenzy market, it's a strategy market. So going back to what Kaci is saying is you need to listen to your agent and use strategy. Buyers who are prepared and sellers who are realistic are the ones winning. Interest rates, mortgage rates have come down from 2024 to 2025 highs, hovering in the low to mid 6% range nationally. The Federal Reserve is signaling gradual easing, not aggressive cuts, and markets expect incremental rate reductions, not a sudden drop into the fives.
right. I mean, we would love it if it would be in the, a sudden
Yeah.
drop, but it's going to be a gradual decrease. You're not going to see any crazy, huge decreases in that interest rate. That's what the top economists are saying for
Right.
2026.
Yeah.
Rates didn't crash, they normalized, and that's actually healthier for the market.
Yeah.
I'm ready to kind of return back to these normal negotiations.
Absolutely.
You still sellers, you need to be prepared to offer concessions to buyers. So, that's not going to go away. These multiple offer situations, I say this, they are rare now.
Yeah.
I just had one this year already where we won. We actually won a multiple offer
Awesome.
situation. Those are always quite stressful. We did win, and normally, what I would say, I can speak to my experience, and you can speak to yours. But with the buyer, they're doing up front. Normally, they're doing a lot of due diligence. They're running insurance quotes.
Yeah.
They're looking at how much the taxes will be, estimated taxes, because you might have a $2,200 payment, but when you add on taxes and insurance, now you're at $2,800, $2,900, depending
Right.
on the price of the home.
Right.
And so that's a huge difference. And a lot of buyers are smarter in this market. They're doing their due diligence. In this case, in this multiple offer situation, we did no due diligence. I mean, we had an idea of monthly payment, but I noticed that I couldn't find a roof permit that was pulled on the roof. And instead of kind of calling that out to the listing agent up front, what I advised to my buyer who really wanted this home is you play nice, you go under contract, then it's war.
And then do your
So,
yeah.
you know, maybe I don't want to, you know, I say war, but whereas you ask the questions
Right.
during that inspection phase,
Yeah,
you don't
that's
want
why
to
you
ask.
have it.
And it goes back to kind of the tactics I used in 2020, 2021. You don't want to be the buyer's agent that asks 20 questions in a multiple offer situation.
Yeah.
More than likely that listing agent is going to persuade their client to possibly go with a different buyer that's not going to ask any questions.
Yeah.
And so we purposely did not ask any questions until we won.
Yeah.
And then we asked a million questions, and we are getting concessions. We're working out the permit issue. It's quite hard now because we're 7 years almost past Hurricane Michael. So are we 2018?
Yeah.
So it's harder to get those permits closed out now,
Yeah.
is what I'm learning. But yeah, that's in this market, you're not seeing multiple offers unless it's priced either right or below market value, I would say.
Absolutely. And an appealing house, like an appealing layout,
Yes.
well kept, something that's nice.
You know,
So-
someone that knows how to decorate makes all the difference.
Truly.
You know, if you have, you know, a wife or a husband that just, it makes a house look like what Carl looks like,
Yeah.
that house is going to trade for higher.
Yeah.
Even though all that's going to go away
Yeah.
once you move in.
It's all emotion.
It is. And this couple did a fantastic job on furnishing their house, and it just was super popular. I mean, we were there within 24 hours and they had multiple offers. So
Good job, Casey. That strategy.
and I've lost them before with the same clients we've lost. So I'm glad, you know, hopefully it'll work out. We're supposed to close the end of this month on that one. Active listings are higher than the last 2 years. We are still in a buyer's market. In December, I don't know if the stats have come out, but in December, the CPAR stats, we're 103 days on the market. The median home price was $340. We had 3,650 active inventory and 543 closed sales, which puts us at about 6.7 months of inventory. As Heather explained on previous podcasts, anything over 6 months of active inventory triggers that, you know, buyer's market.
Yeah.
So homes are staying on the market longer still. I mean, there's still, you know, 100 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, the likelihood that you're going to get an offer within the first week, I would love it, but it's probably not going to happen.
Right. So sellers are finally adjusting expectations. Fewer sellers are testing unrealistic prices. Price reductions are now a normal part of the listing life cycle, and that's true. If you're not getting any interest within, I would say, a couple weeks, I think you had touched on this before, is let's, you know, readjust, come up with a new strategy and adjust that price, and that's normal right now.
It is. I just did a $16,000 price reduction on one of my condos on the beach. You know, I felt like it was comparable to another condo in that community, but we just haven't had the showings and hadn't had the feedback that we needed. And I was like, listen, we have to drop it. We're dealing with 10 other actives in the community.
Yeah.
So you have to, you know, I do get this a lot of times, like with buyers, they see price reductions and they're like, oh, we can get 50, 100K off the price. It's like, no, I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah.
I think we're getting back to a more normal market. So don't expect like $50,000, $100,000 concessions in 2026. I mean, like there's always exceptions to the rule, but you know, buyers are feeling less rushed. Sellers who listen to market data are winning. And agents are doing more education than persuasion.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've kind of talked about this before. When we educate our clients and our customers, they're, like you said, they're winning at the end of the day because they know exactly what to expect. They know where to make their offer or list their property to where it's going to shine. Kind of like that situation that you talked about before with the listing that you took on the last show. So
yeah, so it's like don't overpromise and underdeliver.
Right.
Like set realistic expectations and deliver. Like that's part of our job. We have to deliver, and we will deliver. You know, with the right market data and the right marketing strategy.
Yeah.
New builds are competing hard with resales. I mean, D.R. Horton's taking over the world, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're killing it. I mean, they've got a great product to offer. They've got great incentives. They're offering closing costs. And then on top of that, you have brand new build, energy efficient, great insurance
is
rates.
super low.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, in a market where people are already, struggling to buy eggs, low housing costs are important.
For
So,
sure. I mean, how do you sell somebody on, they can get a, 3.99 or 4.99 interest rate
right.
and, if you go with something else, a different product, you're looking at 6.5 maybe now.
Yeah.
We were looking at 7 at some point last year, but it's several $100s a month.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
a lot of those communities, the D.R. Horton communities, I would say a lot of them offer amenities, which is sidewalks.
Yeah.
You've got community centers, pools, playgrounds. I mean, that's important to people.
Absolutely.
A nice lifestyle.
Location.
Yeah.
Insurance is huge. If you're paying $1,000 a year in insurance versus $3,000 if you buy a 20-year-old house, I'm always pushing for new construction.
Yeah.
If if a client comes to me and they're really worried about the budget and they need a particular size house and they want low maintenance, I'm always like, new construction is a great option because you have the 1-year builder warranty.
Yep.
Which you can get that on a resale or other homes too. You can, sellers are offering home warranties now.
Yeah.
But the insurance costs could be triple.
Yeah.
On these older homes. So I do see in the community older homes taking a hit.
Yeah.
Because obviously when we have a client that comes to us, we're trying to match a house for every client's different.
Yeah.
Every client's different. Their budget and everyone, hey, this is what you can get with this budget. This is what you can get with this budget. You might love an older home, but you're not going to be able to afford this size home.
Right.
So let's kind of look at the new builds. If you don't like it, we can transition. So it's quite a dance.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But so insurance and affordability are still Florida's wild cards. I know we just talked about insurance. It's still an issue in 2026. Insurance premiums remain high in parts of Florida. 4 points inspections, wind mits. You do see, this is kind of, we've touched on this on our insurance podcast, but this is something that you get during your due diligence period when the inspector goes out. They'll provide a 4-point wind mit, and then you can submit those to an insurance agent, and then they can run premiums based on how old your HVAC is, how old, the hot water heater is. Right now, I know a lot of insurance companies do not like to see a hot water heater over 12 years old.
Yeah.
So
that's why it's, I think, for the buyer's toolkit, just being conscious of, okay, how old are the systems, the roof, AC system, water heater, when you're looking at a listing, if you're not going to be able to afford high insurance rates or even get insurance at all, those are things to look out for.
And I think too, we always ask the seller, how much are you paying for insurance? But just because they're paying that number doesn't mean it's going to transfer over or whatever.
Yeah.
It's generally, I would say generally much higher or higher at least for that new buyer coming in.
Yep.
Because those systems are older and, hot water heaters are a big one. So if you're a seller and you have a hot water heater that's, 12 years old or whatever, I would put that on, maybe we need to get this replaced or offer a home warranty or a credit, to the buyer so that they'll have that money to replace it in the near future.
Right.
So the big theme of 2026, strategy over speed.
Yeah, access the board. Economists and housing analysts agree it'll be a balanced market. This is not a crash market. It's not a frenzy. It's a skill-based market.
Okay, let's talk about the Fed chair. It's been all over the news. Jerome Powell, he is still the official chair of the Federal Reserve. His current 4-year term as the chair expires May of 2026. Now, the President Trump, has nominated on January 30th, 2026. He nominated this Kevin Warsh to be the next chair of the Federal Reserve. Am I saying that right? Warsh. This is a formal nomination, but he still has to be confirmed by the Senate. Ideally, if the dates line up, he would take, if he's confirmed, he would take his position after Jerome Powell gets out of there. I know Kevin hasn't had the nicest things to say about Jerome Powell in the past. He has strong opinions about how Powell kind of, was looking backward at economic data instead of like a forward thinking, more aggressive thinking. Powell's stance is like, I'm trying to get inflation under control. I mean,
Right.
that's his stance. That's why he wasn't so aggressive with the rate cuts. We saw in quarter four, we had, a couple of rate cuts, which was great. And my hope is that they just continue with this new Fed chair. I mean,
Yeah.
if he gets confirmed.
Yeah, I hope so too. And if he does get confirmed, I'm excited to see how the market will react.
Yeah, and I think you are seeing more buyers entering the market because of this. I mean, there's other reasons. I've been slammed. January and February, I've been slammed. I talked to other realtors. I don't know if it's like people are like New Year resolution.
Optimism?
Like
Yeah.
an optimistic view. Normally, these are kind of like down months.
Right.
Like October to, I want to say, like March is kind of like not as normally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I've experienced. But I've been slammed. And I don't know if it's just like buyers, getting off the sidelines. Hey, we're going to get a new chair. Maybe things will change.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have someone that isn't as conservative, because Powell was conservative about lowering, the federal funds rate. Inflation's still high. It's still higher than what the Fed likes to see it at. I think it was like 2.7. Now we're like 2.4 for the month of January. So it's coming down, but it's still outside that range where they like to see it.
Yeah.
And I think Powell was trying to, obviously control that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think that's one of the top questions I get, people knowing that we're in real estate, we're on social media quite a bit.
Yeah.
What do you think the year, it's kind of like holding a crystal ball. Like you hope that rates will come down enough to get more buyers in the market, but you just don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea. I mean, we can guess, and we can have optimism as well, which we do.
Right.
But yeah, that's right.
So we do like to, on our podcast, we like to answer a real estate question that isn't commonly known, or we like to answer that, people maybe have mixed views on, or they just don't know the answer. So Heather, do realtors have to present all offers to their clients?
Yes, they have to present all offers. So I don't know if I feel like everyone knew this, but I've had a couple of conversations and also interactions with clients where they, either were upset with their past agent, or they were upset with their current agent, in which we cannot, if we're not in contract with you as a client, we cannot comment at all.
No.
But
I always say talk to your realtor.
talk to your realtor. That's what I'm going to say every single time. But, and then, clients that I've had where, they're upset because their agent is presenting an offer that wasn't, within the range that they hope it is. A licensed real estate agent has to present all offers. It does not, unless it's otherwise written in the listing agreement. Legally, we have to.
So there's a check mark on the listing agreement where you could say withhold verbal offers. So if that's, you can withhold, like verbal offers, we're talking like a text message or an email.
Right.
So,
Right.
But it has to be checked.
Right. But what I'm talking about is, say you get an offer in writing on, a Florida contract, and it's 20,000 lower than what you want to see as a seller. I still have to present that offer. It's legally, I still have to present it. And so the conversations that have kind of come in front of me are, why is my agent presenting this? They're not doing a good job. No, they're looking out for your best interest, because now the next step after presenting that offer is, what's the strategy? How do we counter back? What do we need to strategize and come up with? What do we need to change? What do we need to do better? They're trying to help you, and legally they have to present that offer. They're actually doing their job. And so I think a lot of people don't understand that. They think that their agent's not doing their job if they're presenting a lowball offer, or an
Even
offer
if it's
they don't like.
100,000 below or 200.
Yeah.
Like you have to present it. Like, hey, don't shoot the messenger.
Exactly.
Like, and I always try to persuade the seller to counter. Like,
Right.
I hate that when like, we're not going to counter. Like, know the market you're in.
Yeah.
We as professionals are here to advise you. You hired us to do a job.
Right.
I don't know how many conversations I've had with my sellers. You hired me to advise you. Okay.
Yeah.
Take the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Like, what's his goal? The goal is to sell this property.
Right.
Okay. I'm working, morning to night to sell this, property. Like, what can we do? What's a realistic counter? What are you comfortable countering?
Yeah.
You get that a lot, whereas sellers don't want to counter at all.
Yeah, I get, like, if it's too low,
Yeah.
they just, it's
Reject
the emotion.
offer.
It's
I'll
they
get
get
text,
emotion.
reject offer.
Yeah, I'm like, all right,
so
let's
funny.
plan a call. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it, and let's just counter where, you want to counter. You never know. You
Right.
never know. They could just be testing the water.
Yeah.
And it's you're trying to sell the house. Let's see if we can sell the house. Don't just in most cases, don't just reject it. It really just depends on what we're placed with. So the caveat to that, presenting all offers, is unless it's written in a listing agreement, so you have specific wording in your listing agreement, don't present, XYZ, then at that point, you can, but typically a licensed real estate agent legally has to present all offers.
Yeah,
So.
that's really good that you brought that up, because people get confused on that. And so, good news, bad news, we deliver it all. I mean, there's so many times, how many times you get information, you're like, oh no, I got to call my client. Or, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Like, you just have to, I think I'm getting better at it as the years go.
I'm definitely getting better at it too.
At first I would just cringe, oh man, the conflict. And like, now you got to face it straight on. I remember recently I'm closing with Kelly, one of our agents. She brought the buyer. When are we closing? Next week, Tuesday.
Nice.
Anyways, but I had one. We were going to close. The buyer wanted to close like 4 days earlier than the seller. Okay. The seller basically texts me, deals off. We're not doing it. I was at Zootopia on, where Regency 11 is on 23rd. I took Sawyer to go see Zootopia with my mom and me. We were there. And he was like, nope, we're done. Like, he was walking. He was walking. Cash buyer. I leave the movie. I go out there. I'm like, hey, as your realtor, I advise you to take this deal. It's 4 days sooner. I worked it out where we could work it out. He was just concerned he wasn't going to have enough time to move all of his things.
Yeah.
I explained to him, we've got this worked out. Anyways, he listened to me. We made the deal happen. We're closing next week. But you got to talk him off the ledge sometimes and have those difficult conversations. And
rip
even
the Band-Aid off.
Right, if you're presenting a low offer, like, don't shoot the messenger. Like, how do we make this work?
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, so I don't know if you want to talk about this, but I've got a real estate betrayal list. So it's been trending on social media where people are making betrayal lists.
What is this?
So
a couple more minutes.
This is kind of like, so betrayal list is just like something that you don't like about a norm or just something that typically happens.
I didn't know this. Heather had to explain this to me.
This is like real estate agent version. So this is my betrayal list. Number one is buyers not honoring a signed buyer broker agreement. So I've talked about this before on the last episode, but imagine being hired by an employer and working for a month for them, from wake to sleep, spending gas money, spending your own money, thousands of dollars out of pocket, hundreds of dollars out of pocket, whatever it may be. And then all of a sudden your employer says, oh, you know what? We changed our mind. We're not gonna pay you because we work on commission only. And
so you're saying like someone cheating on you with another realtor.
And they've used you for months.
I've seen realtors like actually like sue or like threaten to sue.
It's an option but it has to go through our broker.
Yeah.
And it's if we find out, but.
So you have a signed buyer broker agreement
and
with
they
a realtor,
break it.
and then you're working with another realtor over here.
Yeah.
And buy a house with another realtor.
Yeah. Or they break
Please
the
don't do
agreement and
that.
go somewhere
Come
else.
on.
Yeah. Your agent has invested time, energy,
Yes.
and money into helping you.
At least break up with you before
at least have a conversation. Don't ghost them.
My goodness.
Agents virtue signaling on social media. This makes me
Explain
cringe
this to me.
so bad. All right, virtue signaling. So virtue signaling would be like, I'm going to have to just make an exact
Yeah.
example. An agent posting on social media, agents, answer your phone. If I call, you need to answer the phone. And the time lapse was only 10 minutes. You've got to be kidding me.
We could be in a closing.
Yeah,
We could
or
be showing a house.
showing houses, trying to give your customer, the attention that they need to make sure that they, are being taken care of. And then agents posting online saying they're not answering their phone. I'm trying to think of another example, but there's
There
a
was
lot of
one
them.
like the feedback I saw the other day.
Oh,
like
not giving feedback.
Someone was like, you guys, can we just help each other and give feedback? Like basically a realtor is showing a house to a client, but they're not giving feedback on how it went, like yay or nay.
Yeah.
But they're like taking to social media to bash that realtor.
And to boast themselves up in front of
Screenshotting the conversation.
Yeah, and I hate when they screenshot conversations with other agents and put it in front of, really people who don't know the ins and outs of the real estate business and the behind the scenes, all to boast themselves up or make them, I don't know but virtue signaling for me is just a no.
That is so
I
annoying.
hate it.
It's so annoying. Like, I mean, I'll not virtue signaling. I'll complain to my husband.
Yeah.
Like behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Like this Asian, but going out there and putting it out there, it kind of gives a bad look to realtors, doesn't it?
It does. It makes us all look bad. I think it erodes, our professionalism, and because we're all professional and trying to do a job and work for our clients.
Someone could just be having a bad day. Someone could be in the hospital. Like there's so many, I always think worst case scenario, like, okay, they'll get back to me.
And posting private screenshots, but agent to agent, I'm embarrassed for you if you're an agent. And I look at you as an outsider, like an agent, and I'm like, oh, I don't ever want to work with that agent.
For sure.
My number 3, advertising a short sale without the proper due diligence.
Oh gosh.
Don't put a house on the market and advertise it as a short sale if you haven't talked to your seller's lender, or the seller hasn't talked to the lender, because there's a couple of factors that come into a short sale. One, the lender has to approve the short sale. They have to be delinquent. The seller has to be delinquent on their payments, and they have to have tried to do loan modifications. So if you haven't taken those steps and you're advertising it as a short sale just in the hopes that it could go through as a short sale, you are doing every single buyer and your seller injustice.
Right?
This just happened. I was showing houses all over the Panhandle. They found the one they loved. It was advertised as a short sale, only to find out that the agent and the seller had not even spoken to the lender, and they were required to be delinquent on their payments and also try a loan modification. You are supposed to go through those steps before you advertise it as a short sale.
You should talk to the bank, say, hey, realistically, what would you take this property? Because you're going to take less than what's owed on it.
Yeah.
So realistically, Mr. and Mrs. Bank, whatever bank it is, like, are you comfortable with taking this amount hypothetically? Or get all those things, that sucks. So
Get
essentially,
the details in line.
Deal fell apart. And all those hours wasted.
Yeah, all those hours wasted. Now we're, back on the road looking for homes all over the Panhandle again. So they're, which is, it's fine. It's my job, but as a listing agent, it's a pet peeve.
Yeah.
And number 4, sellers attempting to cancel after significant agent investment. So cancel their listing agreement after an agent has spent thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing, data analysis, gas, advertising, everything that they've done for you. I had one that tried to cancel after 17 days. 17 days. And I went back to my emails. I was like, was I not clear on the days on market?
Did you fight it?
Yeah, I fought it. And I also have a cancellation fee in all of my listing agreements, because I'm not playing games. You've hired me to do a service and to provide a service, and I've given you the data before you sign that listing agreement. If we make that mutual agreement and you sign that listing agreement, we're locked in for that time frame. We're locked in for that time frame.
Game on.
And then
Good for you.
I've only
Did you sell it yet?
No, we're about to reduce the price.
Good. You'll sell it. You'll sell it. Come on, 2026.
And number 5, agents bullying other agents' listings without having a buyer. So this is what I'm talking about. And I've had this happen to me a couple of times. Agents, I'll put a new listing on, and out of the blue, they'll text and say, that garage is only 19 feet. A truck can't fit in that garage. And I'll text back and I'll say, do you have a buyer for this listing? No, they don't have a buyer. They're just taking the time out of their day to analyze my listing. Yeah, people who aren't doing business.
Oh my goodness.
Or saying,
stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane. Constructive feedback is okay, but just bullying, just write out bullying for no reason, I think is just,
like, if
it's
I
a
see
miss.
cell phone pictures on a listing, I might low-key like text Heather and be like, what in the world is this? But I'm not texting that agent.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Hey, stay in your lane, whatever.
Yeah.
I will make fun of you if you put cell phone pictures on a listing, not directly to you. I will.
Yeah. Or what's another example? Say like, the pricing, you feel like the pricing's too high or too low, and texting that agent directly. Where did you come up with that price? Or send me your comps. Do you have a buyer? No. You're just bullying at that point.
Don't waste my time.
Don't waste. Yeah, exactly. And then this is the biggest one, I think, for me, because I see it happen, especially all of like your big franchises, team production marketed as single agent awards to boost being able to be recognized for that award. Okay, so example, someone who is
These are really good.
Someone who's being marketed or is marketing themselves as a single agent, so under only their name.
I did 50 million in sales in 2025.
Yeah, they're
not me. That's what they're marketing.
Yeah,
but you got a team of 6.
And
or 8.
Not even a team. They're not advertising as a team or advertising as a group. They have like 5 licensed assistants. And everyone's producing, and then they're producing 50 million, and it's like that's not true, because it disservices all of us true single agents.
For sure. It's kind of like what you read online, and we're about to, sign off here soon, but it's like what you read online, you can't believe everything you read online now. Like you don't know what's true, right? Yeah. But they use that as a marketing strategy where, so if they're in front of client A, they can say, hey, how much real estate did you do? I did 50 million. Well, actually, your team did 50 million.
Yeah.
Not you. Yeah. Like, here, what are your individual numbers? Yeah. Like, I think that, and maybe because we haven't worked on a team, like maybe, like whatever.
Yeah.
But it is a little annoying when you're putting your true numbers out there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, this person did triple you. Well, not really. They actually did less.
Yeah.
If you look at how many transactions are they individually closing. Yeah. But they're marketing it as more.
I think franchise, when they're giving out these, like big companies, big franchise companies, when they're categorizing these awards and giving out these awards, I think they need to have tighter stipulations, because the people who are on the winning board every single year are ones that are advertising themselves as single agents, but they really have like licensed assistants, and they're producing those big numbers, but the people who are truly just single agents are being missed out. And so I think that needs to tighten up a little bit.
Are you going to ever get a transaction coordinator or anything like that? I think I'm too much of a control freak.
Me too. And
I have issues with that.
If I did, it would have to be someone like truly special that like holds the same like values and ethics, because
they have to
again, reliable
at the level that you're performing as well. Like no mistakes. Like I feel like one mistake and then you're gone. Like I would be ruthless. So for now, we'll just do it all ourselves and get less sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, any more?
No, that's it.
That's
it
really
for me.
Good. Okay, so we always like to end our podcast with a motivational quote. So this week, this is from Albert Einstein. Everybody knows who Albert Einstein is. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. So, and that really sums up this moment. 2025 brought us challenges. 2026 is shaping up to be the year and opportunity of those who stay informed and are prepared. Are you ready for 2026, Heather?
I'm ready.
Are
you ready? Yeah.
I'm motivated just by talking. It's like a therapy session.
Yeah, I know.
But so thanks for spending your time with us today. We are the Real Estate Girls Podcast. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Can't wait to talk again in the future.
Yeah,
we are
you guys.
the Real Estate Girls. See you later.
See you later.